Hey guys, I'm about to know video today. We're talking about upcoming possible severe weather outbreak next week with the snow potential, and we're going to look at the pattern here in today's video, so let's get into today's video here. Today's agenda for today's video: National Weather Service alerts, then radar view, then today's forecast, then the pattern here, and then we're going to talk about upcoming possible major storm, part A and part B. One's going to be the severe weather side, one's going to be the snow and ice side. So let's get into today's video here. Here's the National Weather Service alerts here we're looking at. We're seeing parts of Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas here. We're seeing winter weather advisories. Same thing with Montana and Wyoming, some winter weather advisories here. Also heading up in here where there was some blizzard warnings yesterday here. We're seeing some winter weather advisories for North Dakota and Minnesota. Also some more for Minnesota and Wisconsin here of winter weather advisories, and even some more storm warnings for Wisconsin here. Also see some winter advisories for Iowa, some Kentucky here. We're seeing some red flag warnings for Tennessee and Kentucky. We also are seeing a red flag warning, it looks like, for Kansas here. And then some heat advisories for areas of California here. And it looks like a wind advisory. Okay, here is our radar view here. We're seeing there are two cold fronts here. There's this cold front, and then our main cold front bringing most of our cold in, where we're going to see cooler temperatures here for the Midwest here tomorrow. We're seeing right now snow showers going on for Colorado and Wyoming here. Also are seeing some rain, maybe a little bit of snow showers in here. In Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, most of the snow showers mainly in Ohio, it looks like, here according to the radar. Also seeing it looks like a few snow showers here going on for some areas in the Northeast. Heaviest snow will probably be up here in Canada, maybe some areas of Wisconsin and Michigan. So, and then we're going to see probably some flurries here for some of these areas tonight, potentially, with these snow showers. So, that's what we could see there. Southeast looking mainly dry, maybe a few rain showers here from these rain showers here. And the western part of the U.S., pretty dry, with high pressure over there. And high pressures, you really don't see much going on with high pressures here, so there's quite a few high pressures here in those areas. So we're not having much going on. Okay, here's today's forecast high temperatures here. We're seeing warm temperatures in the south here. For areas of the Midwest here, we're seeing some cooler temperatures because that cold front is moving through right now, so that's why we're seeing some cooler temperatures. Even some areas as a high, potentially 6 to 4 degrees up here. North Dakota, imagine if you had 6 degrees at the high. It wouldn't be that warm. We're also seeing some kind of cooler conditions up here in the Northeast. It's still pretty warm, getting close to 50 degrees in New York. So that may be a rain to start with, then maybe change over to flurries potentially. With those warm temperatures, there'll probably be rain showers at the start here. Some areas in Maine seeing 41 degrees. Then here where the mountain snow area is, around 30 degrees. Some areas of 20s it looks like. Looks like here in the western part of the U.S., pretty warm, around 50s. Some areas in California seeing 60s here. Some of those areas where the Super Bowl is going to be at, around 84 degrees around those areas as a high today. So very interesting there. Here are our low temperatures, and look at this up here in Minnesota. This is temperatures in Fahrenheit. This isn't even the feel like temperature here. And we're seeing near negative 9 degrees here as a low. So that's very, very cold. If you're up in this, at least if you're in the pink area, it's pretty cold for you. At least 8 degrees in Nebraska. And then you go all the way up into these purples and kind of whitish colors here to negative 19. That's very cold temperatures. That's dangerous cold. You want quite a few layers here if you're in those areas up here. You want quite a few layers because it's going to be pretty cold out there. So luckily most of the snow is gone from your guys' area, but you are seeing that harsh cold as you can see here near negative 19. Probably some areas in negative 20 up here in Minnesota, I'm sure. With negative 19 here, it looks like a lot more white, a little more east of here. So we'll probably see some very cold conditions, at least for Minnesota here. In the negatives, it looks like most of Minnesota seeing at least negatives here for Minnesota here, so it's going to be very cold there. We see this cold front moving through here. We see some cooler air for Indiana, 21 degrees. Kentucky, 32 degrees, where we see those near red flag warnings close to. So 32 degrees down here. It's pretty warm, 40 degrees. Some areas in Florida, 52, 64, I think that is. Down here in southern Florida. We also here in the mountain snow area, seeing 8 degrees, so pretty cold there too. And then over here in California, we're seeing some pretty warm temperatures here for a low for 49, 50s here, it looks like. It's very interesting there. Our most coldest temperatures being right up here in the Midwest here. Okay, here's today's radar here. And we're seeing some of that snow moving to the northeast, some flurries here. It doesn't show heavy snow, as I told you. It looks like it's going to dissipate here, and that's what's occurring here. It's dissipating before it gets to the northeast. That's why we're going to see maybe some flurries. Start out as rain because it's going to be pretty warm. Then it may change over to some flurries here. So we might get a few inches of snow with this, but nothing too big, not big major winter storm here. Just a few snow showers here. Looks like we're going to see some lake effect here in Michigan here. And we're seeing some of that mountain snow going as far down into New Mexico, getting near southern Texas there. Some mountain snow here from Colorado here just keeps moving down and then dissipates before it gets to Mexico there. So very interesting. This area where we're seeing those very cold conditions, we may see a few flurries around tomorrow morning, it looks like. But nothing too big going on, just mainly the very cold temperatures up here. Okay, here's today's forecast snow totals here by the National Weather Service. And they're thinking for with these flurries and stuff, we're going to see maybe about an inch for some areas here near the lake here. Even some areas getting near 2 inches here. So some accumulation possible with these flurries going on tonight here for this area here in New York and maybe some areas of Pennsylvania. Maybe some areas in the northeast, it looks like Ohio here. So, and then we move up here, we may see about an inch for some areas of Maine and New Hampshire, it looks like, northern New Hampshire there. So, looks like we'll maybe see an inch. Very isolated spots, though, in those areas. Our best chance, it looks like, for snowfall will be here in New York and maybe some areas of Pennsylvania there. So, very interesting there. Also shows maybe even some snow showers down here, it looks like, for areas of Virginia and West Virginia, Maryland, and New Jersey, so we may see some snowfall down there this the next 48 hours here. Okay, here's our pattern here. We're seeing that warm air, then we're seeing that big cold front come through. So, and then before the next storm comes in, we're going to see that warm air return for these areas. As you can see, it's going to be pretty above average. And then that cold front moves in with some very cold temperatures, even some areas in Iowa seeing negative 36. Then we see warm air return here after that big major storm, then more cold air moving through. So we're still continuing to see that pattern here. We'll probably see some severe weather in the south again. If that does start occur again, then warm air develops again. And looks like some cooler air will try to move down again. So still showing that pattern of warm air will move back in, and then cooler air will move down. So that means possibly more severe weather threats and maybe some snow chances still too with this. So some very cold temperatures it looks like will come from our next storm here potentially, at least for Iowa and Minnesota there. So very interesting there. And then like I said, we'll warm up again and a cool down will come through again. So very interesting there. We're going to have to watch that here. Okay, don't forget this information will likely change, so take this with a grain of salt here because the information we're about to talk about will change in some way. It will change no matter what, no matter if you do or don't want it to change, it will change. So let's get into it here. Possible upcoming major storm part A. So we're going to focus on this part here is going to be for the south here for severe weather threat here. Like I said, the warm up here before the major storm. So the calm before the storm probably because we're not going to see much going on. Then we may see some severe weather start to spark up here into the day 6 range. And as we get into day 7, we're going to see potentially even more severe weather here. So let's to watch this again and see how that plays out. Here we see warm air, so our calm before the storm, like I said, and then we're going to see that cool air come down with the cold front. Those two air masses here, warm and cold air. We'll see that rain and storms develop here, and some strong storms potentially in these areas. So we're going to have to watch that very, very closely as we get close here. And we see quite a bit of cooler air, and then we start seeing that warm air. It looks like try to build back in at the end of what I'm showing you here. Okay, here is our severe weather outlook here for day 6. We don't have the marginal to high scale for day 4 to day 8. We have from day 4 to day 8, we have either a less than 15% chance, a 15% chance, or a very rare 30% chance here. And we're seeing a 15% chance has been issued by the SPC for day 6, and that's pretty rare for the SPC to do this far out. It's day 6, so and we're seeing a 15% chance for Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas here. This is where they think the best chance for severe weather on day 6 will be. Day 6 is on Wednesday into Thursday, so Wednesday night into Thursday, they're thinking a potential severe weather threat for these areas here. So we're going to watch that very, very closely as we get close to this event next week, Wednesday into Thursday, and then Thursday into Friday. We're going to watch this very closely for a potential severe weather outbreak for some of these areas here. We're going to watch it very closely the next few days. We also have a day 7 risk issued here, a 15% chance here. This is such a large area, we could even see a 30% chance if they really wanted to issue that. A 15% chance here for areas of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, all those areas, and a 15% chance of severe weather here. So possibly some significant severe weather potentially for day 7 too here. That's Thursday into Friday. So Thursday night into Friday, we could see a severe weather threat in these areas, and this is a pretty large region. So there could be a 30% chance added somewhere in this region in a few days if they really wanted to. So, and if you're not familiar with the margin to high scale, a slight risk is a 15% chance here. So this would be if we transfer this to marginal to high scale. This would be a slight risk of severe weather for these areas, and a 30% chance would be enhanced risk here. So yeah, that's just a little bit about their scale here. Okay, here is basically the Weather Prediction Center, what they put out here. This is basically to look at fronts and stuff. This is Wednesday and Thursday. And we see that cold front approaching. This will be the cold front that will cause that severe weather to occur for these areas in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana here. It doesn't show the front all the way over here because this is for the whole day on Wednesday and Thursday. So, but this cold front will move through these areas and bring some severe weather into those areas. And it's showing here that we could see some thunderstorms in this area. They didn't add the severe weather threat risk in here, but they did add thunderstorms for these areas. So those greens are where we're going to see some probably rain likely. The light shades, they think there's a chance of some rain there. So that's what's showing here. We move into Thursday into Friday here. We're seeing that severe weather going on with the cold front coming through in these areas. And we see that warm front here. So our classic severe weather here. And then it looks like rain likely in a lot of areas for Thursday into Friday here, as it's showing even a cold front up here. So we're going to see a big cold front move through for areas, and then Friday into Saturday we're going to see a big cold front for most of the areas of the U.S. here. So very interesting there. We're going to see some severe weather likely in some of these areas. I think that red area, I think that is our thunderstorms chance area here. They shaded for areas Louisiana and Mississippi, it looks like, and Alabama, where they think some thunderstorms are possible. That's where we could be seeing some severe weather going on here. So we're going to have to watch that very closely in the next few days. Here's our dew points here, our moisture We're going to see that moisture reach all the way up to about Iowa here, and even Illinois, and we're seeing some 60s potentially in some of these areas, even getting close to 70-degree dew points for some areas. So very interesting there. We're going to see this reach all the way up to Iowa, so that's pretty impressive here for February. Some 40s all the way up there, not about 60s up there, but still about 40-degree dew points here. And then we're going to see maybe in some areas a 70 near for some areas of Alabama, Georgia, maybe some areas of Florida there, getting near 70. So we're going to have enough moisture definitely for severe weather in these areas here. So we'll definitely have that moisture risk here. But moisture isn't the main ingredient for severe weather. This is just one ingredient. There's 4 ingredients you need. It's still a little far out, so these ingredients could change. They could go down, they could go up, and all that. You need shear, lift. Lift is a cold front, so we do have that here. I showed you just a few minutes ago. That cold front that'll move through. You can even see that here. That cold front moving through in these areas here. So you can definitely see that there. You also need instability, that is CAPE, and then you need shear here, if I didn't already say that, and then moisture, like I said. So I may have already said shear, I'm sorry if I did. So this is our shear here, that's another thing we look at here, and we're definitely have enough shear going on in these areas as this severe weather goes on, and potentially from 80 to 100 knots it thinks for some areas here. So that's our potential tornado threat here. We could have some tornadoes in these regions. We have quite a bit of shear enough for tornadoes here if this does to occur here. So we're going to have to watch that very, very closely for February because we're going to have a lot of shear for these areas. So we're going to be monitoring this in the next few days into next week. So stay tuned here. Okay, we're looking at CAPE here, and we're not, this is our limiting factor potentially, is CAPE. Obviously, usually this far out, they don't actually show as much CAPE, and as you get close to the vent, usually it shows a lot more CAPE. So, I think the CAPE will probably likely change here, so that's some bad news here, but I think this will likely change because usually far out models like GFS puts the the CAPE values a lot lower than once we get to the vent. Usually there's a lot more values by then usually, so it's showing a lot lower amounts. But if this does come to scenario here, we probably wouldn't see a big severe weather outbreak then if we don't see much CAPE, because CAPE is basically the food for thunderstorms. If we don't see enough of that, then we probably won't see a big severe weather outbreak. Even though we have the shear, we have the moisture, we don't have the instability. That's the thing storms feed on here. And right now, according to what this model is thinking, it's not showing much here. But this could likely change, and it likely will. And usually these far out models show these a lot lower, like I said, as we're this far out. Usually it doesn't show big CAPE values. Usually when you get close to the vent, it shows a lot bigger values. But according to this model, it shows low CAPE values, so that'd be a good thing if we did see that, because that would stop probably our big severe weather event here. Okay, now we're going to start talk about part B of this storm, the snowy side of this storm here. So our calm before storm, like I said, and we're going to see some snow and ice develop here in Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, even some heavy snow moving through some areas. They'll move off into Canada, and really northeast doesn't look like we'll get much of the storm, but this is just one mile. The CMC shows it's not going to get much snow for these areas here. It's just going to show maybe a little bit of snow move through. So there's many different models. We're just going to look at GFS for today, and showing potentially a snowstorm will develop here for these areas. Some ice will start off as, and then it shows some heavy snow for some areas of Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, it thinks. But don't forget, this will likely move north, south. Same with the severe weather threat. That can still move north, south. Still quite a few days out. But it's showing potentially some heavy snow for some of these areas, GFS. The CMC is really saying it's going to not be as much snow for these areas. Maybe a little bit of snow, but it's not going to be much here. So we still have a few days, but I really just want to show you guys what could happen here. Here's our snowfall totals, but just don't focus on really the snowfall totals. just focus on where the heaviest of the snowfall looks to be, because these totals will likely change. They'll go down, they'll go up. That's what happens this far out. They always go up and down and totals. So it's not the most accurate until we get 2 or 3 days from the event. That's when it's most accurate here. But it shows them it's going to be quite some heavy snow potentially for these areas, though. It thinks we're going to have quite heavy snow from that storm, even though it won't last long. It shows they'll show very, very heavy snow coming down with the snow going on the northern side. So seeing potentially severe weather on the southern side and heavy snow on the northern side of this. So that'd be very interesting if we did see that here. We're going to show some very heavy snow as possible here. But according to the CMC, it shows not much snow, so this could change here. Like I said, you're going to have to stay updated the next few days on the snowfall and severe weather, because those will likely change. Here's our ice here, and don't look at the particular amounts, just focus on which areas look like to have the most ice, and how heavy it could be. Don't focus on location. It looks like we could see some very heavy ice for some areas potentially. So a potential ice storm is possible for some areas. So it shows even some lighter amounts around these areas, but don't look at the amounts. It shows maybe some light ice here for these areas, and when we get closer, maybe heading toward the northeast, we could see some heavier amounts of ice occurring there. So, like I said, don't focus on exact location. These totals could go up, down, and move north, south. Could definitely change here. Okay, as of right now, I will not have an upload on next Thursday unless if they cancel the event for my school for any reason. But as of right now, next Thursday, I won't be able to upload on this severe weather event. This means no live stream or video that day. The event lasts till 8 p.m., so that's why I won't be able to do a video or stream, because I will not have any time at home until 8 p.m. that day. So from 7 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m., I will not be at home. So that means I won't be able to make an upload. I won't be able to do community polls or anything like that. I'm able to schedule some sort of video or something, so I may schedule a video or something, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm home here. So I probably won't have a video talk about the video for the day. I will have something going on, and I probably won't be able to stream. So you'll have to find a way to get warnings if we do have a big severe weather outbreak that day. You will have to have a way to receive warnings. Go check out other channels like Ryan Hall. That's a great channel to have coverage here on the severe weather if it is a big tornado outbreak here, because I will not be able to go live on Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, potentially, maybe from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., but 10 p.m. and after, I'm usually getting ready for bed, so I'm not able to stream from that time there. So I'll try to stream, though, Wednesday and Thursday, but Thursday I'm probably not going to be able to stream here. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. It would help a lot. So thank you guys for watching. This took a lot of time to make. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm hoping you guys stay safe. I won't be able to upload next Thursday. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video or stream.